I continue to tell you guys that XLM is one of the most overlooked utility plays in this space, and it is because, well, it's the truth. Stellar is still extremely overlooked, even though it is one of the largest networks around the tokenization of assets. Franklin Templeton chose Stellar for a reason, and still, it's completely overlooked. Practically nobody talking about XLM, and it's just crazy to me. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's talk about a few things. Let's actually address real quick just how bullish I am on XLM. In my opinion, XLM deserves to be in the top 10. There is a lot going on around Stellar, and there's very few people talking about it. Very few people even addressing it. Now, recently, yes, we saw a big spike. We're still waiting for the all-time highs to be cleared. If we actually look down here, the all-time high was 7 years ago at 94 cents. Very similar to XRP, right? We want to see a big break. We want to see a big break on this chart, and there is enough substance there for people to realize that, listen, Stellar's not just about hype. They are absolutely crushing it right now, changing the game fundamentally. And if we go over here, we have the quarter 3 by numbers. Now, I'm actually very excited to see the quarter 4 because obviously quarter 4 has grown significantly, but they reached 9 million total addresses and 4.9 billion in total volume. We have 9 million total addresses, 590.4 million RWA supply. Like I said, no joke when it comes to Stellar with tokenization. Franklin Templeton means business. And they mean business by choosing Stellar. 3 billion in terms of real-world asset payment volume. 4.9 billion in total volume, 650.3 million total operations, and 5.79 seconds average ledger close time, aka finality. So listen, as we look at quarter 3, it's been an absolute insane quarter for Stellar. I'm excited for quarter 4. I keep telling you guys, the quarter 4 report on a lot of these networks is going to be very, very exciting because that's when all of the hype was there. That's when a lot of the transactions were actually happening, and I do believe that Stellar blew these numbers out of the water. I actually think that there's a lot more addresses, a lot more money, moving through Stellar, especially in quarter 4 than quarter 3. And quarter 4 is coming to an end, so we're going to see those reports coming out very soon. Now, on top of this, if we go over here, we also have the 2024 Electric Capital Developer report. This got released just recently, and we could actually see some of the stats here around Stellar. 6% growth in full-time devs, 33% growth in total number of devs, and more than 500 new devs in 2024. Here's to more growth in 2025. Very exciting. Listen, I'm very excited about a lot more use cases launching on the network, which I do believe that we are about to see. Hey, don't just take it from my point of view. Go over here to Sorbonne, which is the smart contract service on Stellar. Guys, total contracts deployed over 3,100. Smart contracts over 2,000. And we could see a lot of this happening in just roughly the beginning of, I would say, like the middle of November. If we actually look at the contracts created, guys, 341 were created between November 11th through the 13th. Prior to that, November 8th through the 10th was 142. That's what I'm saying. Like, in just the last roughly 2 months, these networks have changed significantly. Here's the last 3 months in terms of contracts created. Look at this. Insane. Look at the last month. This is what I'm talking about. Stellar is on fire right now. And by the way, you can basically check out everything here. In terms of the accounts have been going crazy in the last year. We went from sub 8 million at like 7.8 all the way up to 9 million. In the last 3 months, it's been pretty solid, right? 8.9 million all the way up to 9 million. And this goes all the way back to just October 1st. You can also see the new assets and trust lines. Check out the 1 year. We went from total established trust lines, 24.3 million, all the way up to 28.9 million. And payments and trades, this has been pretty flat since roughly, I would say, like the end of 2023. But I am expecting this to actually have a pretty big surge here soon, with retail coming back in a big way. But overall, I'm actually very excited about the growth of Stellar. It just continues. We could clearly see that. And also, I am expecting a lot more use cases to launch on Stellar because of the Stellar Community Fund. We actually have 247 projects funded in 2024, 49 different countries, and 57 Stellar Community Fund Kickstart awards. I am excited to see a lot more of these use cases. I'm excited to see what these projects are going to do because, again, 247 funded. We have to at least see 10 of them go live. I mean, that's a very small percentage out of the 247. But I would love to see some of these actually launch on the network because I'm sure that a lot of them are great. I would like to see a lot more DeFi, related use cases, possibly even some retail gaming use cases as well. But I'm very excited to see what comes from this. Now, outside of just the numbers, let's go and check out some use cases like Fawn Bank 1, which is launched on Stellar. 350 million people in Africa don't have access to bank accounts, and only 20% of families have formal bank accounts. Fawn Bank provides a real-world solution to this problem by turning 8 billion active prepaid SIM cards globally into virtual debit cards with Stellar. I'm telling you guys right now, the amount of exposure that Stellar has through some of these use cases is insane. They are truly allowing the retail sector to become their own bank. A lot of people overlook just how fast we can achieve mass adoption. All through the power of a phone. All through the power of a phone. Stellar's making it a possibility with some of these use cases like Fawn Bank, for an example. Now, on top of this, let's actually address what's about to happen in 2025. I have been talking about a lot of these US-based crypto companies and projects getting the green light from the Trump admin because they're pro-crypto, they're pro-innovation. If they're going to take this serious, then they should be looking at companies like Ripple, Stellar, Hedera, etc. And we actually have here from Mike Flood, excited to work with President real Donald Trump to modernize America's financial system and usher in a new era for digital assets. I recently asked Stellar Org about the benefits and opportunities a US dollar-backed stablecoin could bring the average American. Check it out.
Ms. Dixon, considerable work has been done to create a dollar-backed stablecoin, something that I'm very passionate about. I think it's time for this to happen. It's my hope that a payment stablecoin bill will pass through both chambers of commerce and will be signed into law by the president. What does this mean for the future of stablecoins, and what opportunities will this unlock for the average American consumer and small business if we get the stablecoin legislation done?
Thank you so much, Congressman. I always thought that this stablecoin legislation was the low-hanging fruit, and apparently hasn't come out to be that because we haven't been able to, with all the work that you've done, still haven't been able to get it through. I think that stablecoin legislation provides unique opportunity to be able to not only set the United States up as a leader, because we will be the first one who have come out and purposely set the direction, and also have 99% of the stablecoins in the world are US-backed stablecoins. So we'll be stronger from that standpoint too. What Americans will be, and also folks outside the US will be able to do, is send and receive value in seconds that's stable, one-to-one backed value. And that is very, very important, not just to the creativity of what the financial system could be, but also just leveraging value that that others outside the United States couldn't hold.
Very well. Thank you very much for your testimony, all of you. And with that, I yield back.
Now, on top of this, remember that this is right around the same exact time that Patrick McHenry announces a House Financial Services Committee hearing entitled Innovation Revolution: How Technology is Shaping the Future of Finance. Over here, we have witnesses for the next week's Financial Services Committee hearing on how technology is shaping the future of finance will include, and we could see Daniel Dixon, CEO of Stellar. Guys, this is in front of Congress. In front of Congress. And that's where this video comes from. Tech doesn't stand still, and neither do we. Daniel Dixon dropping knowledge at the Financial Committee.
Stellar's transforming global payments. So let's get into this. Rather than getting into the description of how it's done, let's talk about the effect. What are the benefits of blockchain technology? Not just your network, but the underlying technology. What are the most promising innovations? What are the benefits?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question, Mr. Chairman. The most important piece here is that we forget that the global majority doesn't have access to the traditional banking infrastructure that we do here in the United States. And when you think about the fact that we would that the highest demand is the US dollar. They want to be able to leverage the US dollar, at least to be able to receive money from diaspora, from the US and from elsewhere. They want to be able to leverage that in a way that's cheap, efficient, and secure. That is what blockchain technology does for them. If you think about, there are several opportunities to discuss like the impact, but we have worked with the UNHCR to be able to deliver aid into countries throughout the world in a very fast and secure manner. Not only did it help the UNHCR from their security standpoint and to deliver aid quickly, it also made it so that it was much more secure for the people on the ground, so they didn't have to hold cash. The end user could receive, the refugee or the internally displaced individual receives the aid and is able to receive it within 3 minutes because of the fact that they can download the app and receive the aid right then and decide, do I want to push it to my bank account? Do I want to cash out in the local currency? How do I want to handle this? That's all done with US dollar stablecoins. And then when you think about, we just recently published a short documentary that talked about how in San Francisco, Colombia, there was an organization that was just starting up and they had to pay their individuals all in cash. And what happened is the CEO of that organization was impacted. He was actually held up because he had so much cash and he was nearly killed. He then started using blockchain technology with all of his workers, and not only did it support the work that they were doing where they were able to receive the digital asset and then cash out at the MoneyGram locations locally, they then went and spent that money in the local stores. We call that the on-chain effect. So it's not just that it's actually leveraging the individuals, it's helping local businesses in areas where they might not have access to this kind of money.
And yeah, this is exactly what Stellar is doing. They are changing the way that the retail sector sends and receives money. And I keep telling you guys that some of these companies like Ripple and what Stellar are doing, they're fundamentally changing the way money is moving. But the best part about this is everyone's always saying, all right, well, Ripple's better than Stellar, Stellar's better. Listen, I don't want to hear those low IQ discussions. When we look at Ripple, B2B, institutional players, enterprise players. When we look at Stellar, yes, they can still target those, but mainly Stellar is here for P2P. They are here for, remittances. They want people to be able to send money back home in the cheapest way, in the most efficient way possible. These two players are very complementary, and there's so much money out there, that these players can work in unison. It's not about which one is better than the other one. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys right now, you want to pay attention to what's happening here because Stellar is changing the game. Stellar is one of the most overlooked projects right now in this space. And in my opinion, it is going to be one of the most successful crypto projects in the short term, the midterm, and even the long term. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.